Oh my goodness, and welcome everybody for our Saturday night gentle series. We have a special guest, Miss Lisa, will be helping me this evening because we had a request for couples yoga. And so because this is a gentle class, it's gonna be like all of the easiest poses.
Yes, please.
Yeah, they're not gonna do any acrobatic flying anything. We're gonna say like grounded and centered and keep it super easy peasy. And the name of the game here is that it is fun, it is playful, it's about doing something with someone that you care about, right? Like,
Maybe we'll get adventurous at the end.
right? She's my ride or die. If anyone's gonna randomly do yoga with me.
This is
it's
my
me.
first time doing yoga. I keep saying I was gonna do it and I procrastinated and I'm put on the spot to do it.
Yes, if you do not do it on the own, the universe will force you to do things. Or your best friend will. Either or. So, and what's really great about couples yoga is whether it's a friend or it's a relationship, it promotes communication. It helps you get more in tune with each other. Like it gives you an accountability partner in your practice. So really like it's just to be joyful and playful. There's no expectations. Like the idea is that this is a class for people's first time. So it's just about getting to know yourselves and acknowledging like that when you're working with another person's body that clearly is not your own, we're not the same height, like at all, right? So it's gonna be awkward. There's gonna be parts where we're needing to figure it out together. And that's where like the communication and the compassion comes in.
And we just ate beans for dinner.
All good times. Definitely.
I just realized that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Again, with someone you love.
We'll see by the time we're done.
Yes.
It's
Oh.
a small room.
Yeah. So we're gonna all come to a comfortable seated position. And I think what would be really lovely for this practice is if you can set an intention of like, either something you want to like co-create and foster with your partner for your practice, or even something like that you just want to like love and adore this person and spend time with them. I love and adore you and want to spend time with you, Lisa.
Always.
So finding like rooting down into that seat and then taking a moment to set an intention. And if it feels right and natural to you, like feel free to share that with the person that you're going to be practicing with, of like setting that intention and sharing it, or just keep it to yourself, right? It's all about what feels good for you in this moment. Beautiful. And then we're just gonna sit up nice and straight, coming into our traditional yoga poses, which this is Virasana or diamond legs as we're sitting here, or there is Sukhasana, which is really similar to like crisscross applesauce, except you have one leg in front of the other. And I only am specifically pointing that out for this practice because there will be, I think, one pose where we will need to come into this. So wherever you're choosing or whatever you're choosing for your seated position, really root down through those sit bones so you can move the fleshy part of your tush out of the way to feel those sit bones.
I just got extra fluffy.
Yeah, that's why you gotta move it. That's why you gotta move the gift that God gave you.
That fleshy part got extra big lately.
Oh, and then from there, root and lift tall up through the crown of the head. Hands can come and rest comfortably on the thighs. And letting the eyes soften or close and taking a few deep breaths here. Just paying attention to what your starting point of your practice is. Really cultivating that intention in your heart space, sending your thoughts and love to manifest that into a reality. Slowing the breath down, using that inhale through the nose and the exhale out of the nose, and nice and slow. Remembering there's no rush, there's just the here and now, and that you have every tool you need to be successful in this space. There's no prerequisites or requirements other than to be here with your breath and your body. And then when you're ready, you can allow those eyelids to flutter open. And we're going to do one more breathing exercise, but we're actually going to go back to back as partners, because a lot of couples yoga is about breathing together with the inhale and the exhale. So when you have your back against something, you can feel the back of your lungs in a different way. And so it just helps to connect with the breath. So you can turn and go back to back here. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Look at that. We are powerful. Yes. And just slowing it all down and taking some deep breaths here together. If the Ujjayi breath is part of your breath practice, you can drop into that because then your partner can hear your breath. And that is done by creating a slight restriction in the back of the throat to create a hissing sound on the inhale and exhale. Taking 3 more breaths here, knowing that you are setting yourself up for success in this space. And then when you're ready, allow those eyelids to flutter back open. And we're going to begin by turning completely around now to face your partner. So when you come, so this was where I showed like the Sukhasana. So the one leg right in front of the other, and you're going to come close enough so that your knees are actually touching. Come on in, sister. And then sitting up nice and tall, reach your arms out towards each other. So one person's going to grab at the elbows and the other person is going to grab the inside of the elbow. And then sitting up nice and tall, you can look into your partner's eyes and smile. And then inhale, begin to lean back, opening up the heart space, grabbing the arms, finding that tension point. And then exhale, still pulling around the spine, tuck the chin into chest and round the back. And then inhale to open. Exhale to round, playing with leaning back a little more or a little less. You want to really feel that stretch. So the farther back you lean, the deeper that stretch will feel. Opening up on that inhale and that exhale to round. So play with it a little bit. If you need to talk or communicate, like this is the time in the space. This isn't a silent kind of practice. A few more breath cycles here. If it feels a little awkward, try rounding up the corner edges of the mouth and bringing yourself into a little yogi smile here. Gotta fake it till you make it sometimes. All right, the next time you exhale, come back to center here, release the arms, and we're gonna prepare for a twist. So I definitely know exactly what that's like. Oh, exactly, we're already here. This is why I picked this one neck. So you're both gonna turn to the right here. So you'd be facing opposite directions, and then you're gonna reach around with your right arm behind the back. And you're going to take your left hand to grab your partner's right arm. Okay. Oh, check it out. There might be, one of you might need to lean like forward or backwards a little bit to reach each other depending on the length of your arms. And then on that next exhale, really twist and turn out back and behind. And I can really feel this deepening a stretch that I regularly do, but I don't normally do it with someone else. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome. Definitely feel those stretches.
So breathing deep here, using that inhale to lift and extend to the crown of the head while the sits bones are firmly rooted to the earth. Taking a few more breaths here, seeing if you can link up that breath cycle with your partners. And then inhale, gently release that grasp, coming back to center. Pause for a breath cycle. And then we're gonna go to the other side. So now both partners look to the left, reach back and behind with the left arm, and then that right hand comes to grab the left. Nice and tall, sitting up, knees pressing into each other, and then use that exhale to twist, looking out, back and behind you. Pausing for a few breaths here, knowing you've got this. There's no right or wrong, as long as everything feels in alignment in your body. So any pinching, numbness, or tingling, you can come a little bit out of that twist. Maintaining that length and integrity through the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. And then inhale to gently let go, returning back to center here. How does that feel? Good? Okay, good. All right, scooch back a little bit. Scooch. And then bring the soles of the feet flat in front of you. So we're gonna work with like a balancing partnered boat pose. So what it's gonna be is you're gonna be leaning back. So first, make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall, extending through the crown of that hair. You can bring your hands to the back of your legs to start, just because that will help. So you're imagining a nice straight line from your sits bones up all the way through the crown of the head here. Shoulders nice and softened down the back body. And then we're gonna bring the feet together to touch. And we're going up. Oh my gosh, can we reach? Ah! Like, it's fun. We got this. So you might need to bend the knees. You know, if you can get both legs straight, awesome. That's like, you know,
I'm all the way straight.
Yeah, mine aren't. I don't think it would have the same height. Yeah.
We have a height issue.
Come on, I get you right. If I were doing this,
I can bend mine and maybe get straight there.
Oh, sitting up nice and tall, pausing for a couple breaths here. Breathing deep because you got this. And knowing in the yogic tradition, the soul of the body enters through the feet. So there's something like really, really special about bringing the feet to touch with somebody else. It's considered to be a really sacred act. One more big deep breath in, and then exhale, gently let go of the hands, and then bring the feet back down to the earth. Yeah. Well done. Beautiful job. Now we're going to come in to candle pose. So rolling forward up onto the knees, and both of you will face the same direction now. So soles, that's tops of the feet flat on the earth behind you. And imagining like you're in mountain pose. You're so standing nice and tall, a nice straight line from the knees up all the way through the crown of the head. You can tilt your pelvis slightly forward to help you stack vertebrae on top of vertebrae. And on an exhale, make sure the shoulders are softened and down the back body. Beautiful job. Now, what both partners are going to do for this pose is you're going to take your inner leg and extend it across the front of the other person. Okay. No. And then I'm going to go. Right? Fancy pants. Bring one hand to the inside of the thigh, and the other arm is going to come up and overhead to touch. Beautiful. So cute. We are really cute. I wish I was taking pictures of this somehow.
Except for this angle, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Everybody is beautiful and perfect. Breathing deep here. And exhale, release the hands, coming back to center. I'm trying to think whose leg is going to have to come back first. So we're going to now have to swap sides to do the other side. All right, so same, like coming into the integrity of nice and tall, lifting up to the crown of the head, shoulders softened and down the back body. And then whoever went first the first time can go first again the second time. Otherwise it gets a bit confusing. So to have like a set pattern. There you go.
This carpet isn't so gentle on my knees.
Oh, so you're pressing into the outer edge, like you call it, like the knife edge of that extended foot here. And still really pressing into that knee to lift and lengthen up tall through the crown of the head. That inner arm comes to the thigh. And then up and over. Where is it? Okay, yeah, that's the communication piece. And breathing deep here. Settling in, feeling the support of your partner, knowing you are not alone in this journey. Keeping those breaths in and out of the nose here. And then inhale, releasing that hand, coming back to center. All right, from here, we're gonna bring the hands flat down to the earth. Take a step up with your right foot. And then the left, coming up into a forward fold for just a moment here. Allowing ourselves to hang. Hands can come down to the earth or hands can grasp opposite elbows here. Just allowing yourself the opportunity for the flow of energy to change direction in the body. Remembering always that this is a safe space for sighs, moans, and groans. This is a judgment-free zone. We keep stuff in all day, every day. So it's nice to have a space where you can just let an experience out as it comes to you. And then as you're ready, release those clasped elbows if you're holding on to them. And so slowly rolling up to a standing position. Imagining that you're stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. We're pressing into those feet to help you lift up. Head is the last thing that comes up here. Roll the shoulders out. Coming to standing. Yeah. Beautiful. And then turning to face each other here, toes touching. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then once again, we're going to grab opposite arms. So holding on, one outer elbow, one inner elbow, and then really activating the glutes. So your tush, right?
Oh boy.
Turning the tush on here, taking a big deep breath in, and then exhale, begin to lean back, holding tight, allowing that belly button to come forward, the shoulders to melt down the back body. And last but not least, letting that neck surrender. Leaning back, creating that tension in the hold similar to that seated cat-cow. Breathing in. Breathing back out. Of course, any numbness or tingling, gently come out. And then inhale to slowly pull you back up to center. It can be helpful to communicate before you're coming back up. I probably should have said that first. Yeah, I know you're doing great. Good, that's the dream. All right, and then turning to face the long side of your mat if you happen to be using a mat, and preparing for standing tree pose. So this one, like the gate pose, we're gonna have to switch sides, right? But start, and so the inner leg is gonna stay on the earth. So imagine that all of the weight of your body is being spread out into all four corners of that inner leg here. It's like, this is my inner leg, this is her inner leg, just to be clear. So really pressing into that foot as though it's helping you to grow taller up through the crown of the head. And then beginning to come into your tree pose. So that other leg, turn that knee out and bring it to touch the inner edge of that standing leg, and choosing where you, I think maybe we need to be a little bit further back. Sorry, we're too close actually. So yeah, choosing where you'd like that standing, or where you'd like that foot to be for your tree pose. And then once you found your placement, you know, we always can find a crispy. Everything's fine. Here, let me help you. Here. So we're gonna bring one arm back in the
I
heart.
didn't have coordination, you asked me to do this.
And this is how we learn it. And then your outer arm comes to the middle and you press your palms together. Boom, see? Psh, no coordination, my fish. Oh.
Can they feel the wobble like we could?
I'm sure they do. Ah, breathing deep here. Remembering that everything is as it should be. Weebling and wobbling is part of the experience of life. One more big deep breath in, and then exhale to melt the hands, melt the foot back down to the earth, shake the legs out a little. Should just shake everything out. It's just good for the body every so often to shake, shake, shake. I love doing this. I do this in my kids' classes all the time. It's so fun. And then switching sides. All right, so inner leg, pressing all of the weight of your body into that foot, preparing yourself, being strong and sturdy and coordinated. Got this, friends. And then turn that outer leg out to the side, bring that foot into the inner leg, choosing where you'd like it to be. Then one arm goes back around behind your partner and the other palm comes to touch. I got you, boo. To be fair, in every partnership, there's always a partner that is more solid at times than the other, and this is when we can support our partners the most.
I can't remember the last time I even stretched.
You're doing amazing. It's really, really great.
I love feel the burn.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Oh, a few more breaths here, nice and sturdy and tall, supported by your partner. And exhale to melt it all down to the ground. Inhale to reach those hands up towards the sky. Big breath in, and then exhale, swan dive all the way down to the toes. You can bend the knees if you need to. Take a step back with the right foot. Bring that knee to the earth. Take a step back with the left foot. Bring that knee to the earth and then melt yourself. Well, actually turn so that you're facing each other, maybe towards the back end of our rug here. And then I'm going to show you how to come into child's pose.
Oh boy.
And so what I'd like to offer in this class is also just a couple of assists. So, you know, it's not technically couples yoga assisting, but it also is a way to tend to and support your partner in a pose so that they can go into it deeper. So a child's pose, you just kind of melt. Most technical term, you melt the torso over the thighs, bringing the forehead to the earth or a mat or a block. And you sort of melt, like you can wrap the arms around the body if that feels good, or you can extend them forward. So I want to give everybody the opportunity for both partners to try this, but what can feel really, really nice, feel really, really nice is I'm going to come around to the other side of my partner here. I'm going to take my hands, so my palms are forward, my hands are back, and I'm going to place my hands on her low back. I'm sorry, is it okay if I touch you? Of course. I'm sorry, I should have asked before. And then, you know, I guess if your partner's yoga, right? But you then press like away from the body here. So you're essentially what you're doing is you're stretching out the low back. And depending on where people carry tension, most people carry it either in their shoulders or their low back. So knowing where your partner carries tension could help you determine what might best support them. So there's that option here, or you can bring the hands up. So now like they're facing in a natural way. And you place your hands on the upper shoulder and you do the same gesture of like away from the body with a little bit of pressure. And once you've tried both, you can ask your partner which they prefer. Which do you prefer, Lisa?
I like it both ways.
Like 1 and 1?
Everything on me is broken and
yeah.
hasn't been stretched properly in years.
Oh, I'm so glad we're doing this. Yeah, so just taking the time to be interested and to ask questions and knowing what feels nourishing to the person you're supporting. And I think that's true for all relationships, whether romantic or not. All right, and then coming, we'll switch so that each partner gets the opportunity to try. Yeah.
I just squished my full dinner belly. Woof. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm trying to behave.
I know.
Might have just asked the wrong person for manners.
I knew what I was
Little
thinking.
bit. You gotta go for it. Oh, I can't get it back there. Okay. Wait from the bar.
Yeah.
Am I doing it right?
Totally.
Okay. Let me switch.
Yeah. I'll try that. No, you can go. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Hopefully everyone's had enough time at this point to have conversation and to explore what feels best for both of you and both of your bodies. And now we're gonna come into Shavasana, because I'd like to show you a few more assists in Shavasana. So Shavasana is final resting pose. It's literally just like literally just laying on the ground. So I will model it for you. But it's essentially like palms up in a V shape at either side of the body and the legs just like comfortably extended out. So coming into Shavasana. And so one thing that you could offer for your partner is to do a massage. I don't actually have the stuff to do all of that, but it's really, really nice to do like essential oils, like lavender oil, eucalyptus and orange, like not mixed together, but separate. Those are my 3 favorites for using. So you can always offer your partner a massage in Shavasana as a way of tending to the feet, but a nice way to support the legs is that you actually gently grab under the ankles here, and you lift them a few inches up off the earth, and then lean and pull back here. How does that feel?
Delightful.
Right? Yeah. This actually removes like compression in the hips and in the legs, and oftentimes we have one leg that's a little bit shorter than the other because the legs have a tendency to move up into the hips, and this readjusts that. This is like.
Can you do this for the rest of the evening by the campfire?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
If you lay on the ground, I sure can.
I love this.
So I'm gonna do it for a few more seconds because clearly she really enjoys this.
Oh.
Yes.
I have such a bad hip. This feels so good.
Yeah. And exhale to gently place those feet back down, remembering that this is a final resting pose, so we don't want to jostle or surprise anybody at this point of the practice. Oh, and the other one, you can come around to the front. Okay, just gonna do one of these. Rub your hands together to make sure that your hands are not cold. And you place the palms like on the upper chest, like close to the collarbone. And then put a little bit of weight into them, not too much because you don't want to squish your partner. And then slide away from the body. Breathing deep. Helping your partner soften into their relaxation pose. Then you can take the time to switch so that your partner can try it out again. And then we'll come and like do a proper Shavasana afterwards. Oh. My God, I'm long. I don't know that you're gonna have enough room.
I feel speechless a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
No, oh wait, which one? Am I supposed to do?
So you rub the palms together and then you place them like, it's hard to do on myself.
I just didn't know if I was supposed to do your feet first.
No, I don't think it matters. No, it doesn't matter that. Lovely, thank you.
It does feel really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed by that.
It's so easy. Yeah. And then you can try to, yeah,
Up to the-
I'll scooch up so that you can actually get to it. Great, a lot more communication than in your typical yoga class.
Not so good at this, sorry.
It's okay. So you just grab the feet, like you grab like right under the ankles and lift the feet a few inches up off the ground and then pull towards you. Yeah. That's the stuff. I'm sliding. And then whenever you're ready, you can set them down and I'll scooch over to make room for you to come and take a proper Shavasana. Come. Yeah. You did it.
Opposite direction or same direction?
You can do opposite. If you do opposite direction, you can hold hands.
There's other things to come.
No, this is it. It's the final resting pose. So you can come palm to palm with your partner here. Breathing deep. See if now, even though, you're not back to back, can you still link up your breath just from the muscle memory of having done this together for your practice? And once again, return to that intention. Imbue it with your awareness. All of the lessons you've learned in your practice can wrap up that intention with those lessons, like a gift to offer your partner. And then when you're ready, just slipping off into your Shavasana, letting all thoughts slip out of the mind so you can focus on the breath and the body. When you're ready, you can roll onto one side here to ease that transition from laying to sitting, using that lower arm as a pillow for the head and pressing the other palm into the earth to keep you nice and sturdy. Pausing here for a few more breath cycles. And then when you're ready, pressing into that palm to gently make your way up towards a comfortable seated position, or just lay there for as long as you want, because we're not in a studio, you can do that. Sitting up nice and tall once again and bringing the hands to heart center on an inhale. And we will close our practice with 3 ohms. You're welcome to just listen or you can join in your call move. Big deep breath in through the nose. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows is peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining this evening. And let us know any questions, comments, concerns, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.